Well, hello, and welcome back to my temporary workshop, which I'm currently moving out of, which is the reason for the mess here. You may remember from the last video, we took down the roof, and it's now rained everywhere. But today, we're going to make a blacksmith knife, something I've been wanting to do on the channel for a little bit, so let's get into that. So, this is a great project for beginners if you're just getting into this craft. And yeah, also I thought I'd go over the dimensions. They are, it's a 7-inch piece. I'm going to divide it into 4.5 inches for the handle and 2.5 inches for the blade. So, just gonna set it down with some quick half-base blows here. Half over the anvil. I've already marked this off camera. Basically, that's just what I'm doing right there. Then I'm gonna flip it around and begin drawing out this portion. Now I'm going to do something here called the ergonomic method, and this is where I use the corner of my hammer and the corner of the anvil like fullering tools. It's a very fast way to draw things out. It does put nicks all over your material, and that does not matter because I'm going to wipe all those out when I hit this. You always want to come back to the face of your anvil and clean it up, just so you don't get too deep of marks in it, create cold shuts or anything like that. Right, so here, I'm just drawing it to a taper, which is important for the next step. This is going to be what I know of as a rat tail or a squirrel tail. Basically, that just means we scroll it off in the very end. But to do that, gotta taper it down pretty thin. All right, let me get another heat. So here I'm just trying to take out any deep hammer marks that are in it. And then I'm going to chamfer it, which basically just means take off all the corners. So, like this. This can probably even be done cold. I'm just striking in the corners, making them feel a little nicer in the hand and look a little nicer. Twist in there, I gotta try and work out. So I'm just going to slowly feed this off the edge until it does that, or a little more. I'm gonna flip it around, just start curling that around. And if you've never seen it before, that's how you make a rat tail. I want it to be a little thicker towards the blade, but not quite that thick. Alright, just kind of straighten everything up, fix any little any little twists or bends. Again, look for the hammer marks, and then I'll chamfer this part of it too. I'm going to draw this to a taper. A lousy taper. All right, one quick note. When you're drawing and then this happens, it's called a fish mouth. It's an easy way to fix it. I'm about to show you. Go like this. And then, if you want to be safe, grab another pair of tongs and pull it off, just like that. So obviously that's going to be the point. All right, so you want to finish the blade to like 90% roughly. So how I'm actually measuring this is very unprofessional. I just have a mark on a piece of steel at the halfway point. I know that my handle material here is roughly 6 inches. So I just managed to mess that up a little bit, but you get the point. And you might be thinking, you bent that the wrong way. I have to twist this, so I can bend this whichever way I want, and I can twist it back to straight. I'm just scrolling this rat tail a little more, or maybe a little more and a little more. The reason is because I didn't do it quite enough before, and I didn't use up quite enough material, so now this handle is kind of awkwardly long. And so, to avoid having that problem, we need to scroll this a little more. So in the future, I'll probably start with a little bit less material than this. I have made a few of these before. Not loads and loads of them. But it's always better when you're starting out to try and start with too much material rather than not enough and then cut some off. Because you can't really add any later. And then if your project's wrecked, well, it's wrecked. So this is not going to be the prettiest one I've made. A little bit wider face. Really not such a bad looking scroll. So this is not quite how I envisioned it looking. Also, everything's like twice as hard to do on camera. they're difficult to do. So of course you could just go for a loop, and I was actually, truth be told, going to do that. But then I found I had a bit too much material here, and so I devised a way to try and use some of that up. About good for the handle. Gotta make sure you get this pretty straight because there's no straightening after heat treat. Normalizing one. So you heat this up 3 times and let it air cool. After we are just about to do the next stage, which is heat it up, quench it, then we'll temper it, put an edge on it, and we'll be done. There we go. I'm now just going to test this with a file here. It skates a file, which means it's successfully hardened. So, what I'm doing here is called tempering. And it's just arresting the hardness of this blade back to a manageable state. The way I'm doing it this time, though there's a number of ways you can do it, is to heat up a block, as you can see there, and place the blade back on there. And that'll make sure that the spine of the knife is harder and this part is softer. The spine is softer, the edge is harder. Just want the edge to stay sharp. So, yep, that's what I'm doing here. Keep it from snapping. Just sharpening it here. So that's it for this project. If you're gonna do this, I might recommend doing 4 inches instead of 4.5 inches, maybe as little as 3.5. Experiment around, figure out what works out. And yeah, if you do make one of these, take a picture, leave it in the comments. I'd love to see what you do. And until next time, farewell, wherever you fare.